KREM 2 News begins now.
Thank you for joining us on KREM 2 Plus. I'm Tim Pham. This is your KREM 2 News Week in Review. Join us as we take a closer look at some of the biggest stories in the inland Northwest this past week.
So more than a dozen people are out of their homes after this fire. The woman I talked to, whose apartment also burned in this, says funny enough, her son actually just went through fire safety training last week in school.
Look how it just melted, like it was just like liquid.
Lindsay Green's apartment, one of 6.
I'm so glad there was no one in these too,
6 apartments destroyed in Monday morning's fire.
So my apartment is the top left one with the roof exposed and stuff falling in the corner.
Sometimes laughing is all you can do.
Yeah, it was bad.
In a situation this bad.
I poked my head out and the entire left wall was completely engulfed in flames, just completely. So when I felt the heat, I grabbed him and we ran out the door.
Lindsay and her son left everything behind.
As I look, I could see that I don't even have a ceiling. So yeah, we're not gonna have anything, I'm sure.
Left without their things and without a home.
When you just want to go home, you don't really kind of know where to go. And we don't feel like we're being taken care of properly by the owners of the property.
Lindsay says she heard her neighbor ask when they'd get to go home.
They said, "You're never going back home. You're not going home." So I don't know, it was not something you say to somebody who just was uplifted from their home.
She says they need understanding as they look for new homes.
Uncertainty. I don't know where I'm gonna go.
For today though, Lindsay's positive attitude is shining through.
Today at least I'm not crying and I've got a smile on, trying to stay positive, I've got healthy kids and everybody's okay, so.
Lindsay says the apartment managers have offered to let them move into other apartments here in the complex. I reached out to the apartment owners, have not heard back from them. I also reached out to the Spokane Valley Fire Department to ask for an update about the 2 people who were hurt in this fire and have not heard from them either. In Spokane Valley, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
We would be a school to beat, and now we're a school that's been beaten. We're out in the dumps, and it's because of a few poor, awful decisions of a few boys.
An organized walkout today at Meade High School with dozens of students saying it's time for district leaders to acknowledge repeated incidents last summer at football camp. Incident reports from Eastern Washington University Police state 2 students were held down by fellow teammates and assaulted with a massage gun. Today, students say it's time for those responsible to be held accountable.
It was sexual assault, and that's what happened. Oh, it's not funny. It's not a joke. This walkout isn't funny. It isn't a joke. It's for an actual meaning. It's fix it. Fix it now.
KREM 2 first revealed the police documents that show the incident happened in June of 2023, but wasn't reported to police for 8 months. Parents told officers their kids said younger students were being hunted down and targeted for hazing purposes by upperclassmen while they were staying at the EWU dorms during summer training camp. An internal Meade investigation report shows coaches knew about social media videos showing the incident from different angles as soon as 3 weeks after it happened, but said at the time it only depicted laughing, shouting, and something resembling a dog pile, and that it was hard to determine what was happening apart from horseplay or roughhousing. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office took the lead in this investigation and ultimately found probable cause to charge 4 teenagers with 4th-degree assault, a gross misdemeanor. But they never actually faced those charges because they entered into a diversion program, agreeing to certain conditions to avoid being charged.
I don't think that letting people who have committed crimes and getting charged legally for it should walk to school with other people.
It's putting all of these students at risk, and it's making us all feel uncomfortable. It's making it hard to come to school.
I asked Meade officials if any of the teens involved in the assault were disciplined, but was only told that each student's case was handled individually. Today, Meade students told KREM 2 that's not enough.
I have an issue with them letting the boys go run drills on the field for scholarships, like they still deserve and earned those.
The district told parents about the walkout through an email saying students have the right to express themselves and to peacefully demonstrate. The Monday walkout took place without incident and was over in time for students to return to their 3rd period classes.
Spokane police and fire say they responded to calls of a fire here at the corner of Spokane Falls Boulevard and Howard, right by Riverfront Park, at about 1:15 this morning. Once they got here and got the fire out, they say they found 2 buckets of flammable material. Investigators were also able to find surveillance video of what happened this morning. They say several people dumped liquid on the street and lit it on fire while another person filmed them. SPD says they're investigating this as an arson right now. Back in March, though, Governor Inslee redefined the state's hate crime laws to include defacing public property, not just private property. Spokane PD says that goes into effect officially on June 6th. So as of right now, while SPD says it seems like the arsonists targeted the mural because of its LGBTQ meaning, they might not be able to charge as a hate crime. The city actually just repainted the crosswalk a few weeks ago because this is not the first time it's been vandalized. People have thrown paint and made skid marks over the mural before. The city of Spokane sent out a statement about this, condemning the vandalism. Mayor Lisa Brown said, quote, "This is not only an act of vandalism, but a hate-fueled act that goes against our values of equality, acceptance, and celebration of diversity," end quote.
The number of illegal camping complaints reported to code enforcement has multiplied in Spokane. So instead of responding as one group across the entire city, Spokane's homeless outreach team is now operating as 2 teams, the neighborhood team and downtown team.
Spokane is on a mission to keep the community clean and safe. That involves improving how it responds to reports of illegal camps. As someone who frequently uses Spokane's trails,
So I just finished a 6-mile run along the Centennial.
that's a mission Christy Ulanot can get behind.
I want to be able to run it without having to worry about my own safety. And I do still run it, but I love hearing that there's people looking to improve it.
Spokane's homeless outreach team is now split up into 2 teams to cover more ground. The downtown team operates inside the boundaries of the SPD downtown precinct. The neighborhood team focuses on all areas outside the downtown boundary.
Now we're more of a 4 to 5 person teams, and that's just been a little bit more mobile. So it gives us the ability to get in, work quickly and safely, but also get to more sites on a daily basis.
Luis Garcia is the city's director of code enforcement. He says the team would typically respond to about a dozen cases daily. Now, the daily rate with 2 teams is 34 cases.
We also open up cases proactively, so if we know the locations, we'll go ahead and frequent those locations and open up cases as needed.
Each team is accompanied by a Spokane police officer. And when responding to encampments, the team offers services to people they encounter. Beyond that, they work quickly to clear away garbage left behind at the camps. With safety top of mind for many in the Spokane community,
There has been crime and issues along this trail.
the steps the city is taking with the homeless outreach teams brings a welcome sense of comfort.
It's nice that everything's getting some TLC.
Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Yeah, well, it seems like the most immediate task that stands in front of WashDOT crews is the Spokane River Crossing project. We had a chance to come out here last week as crews assess their plans to move forward, and that's exactly what's happening right now with this project.
You know, you drive by on Green Street and you see it. It's here, it's happening. There's a lot going on and it's moving quickly.
It's been a large puzzle, decades in the making.
1, 2, 3.
Take this video from August of 2009 as an example.
Imagine what it can mean for the livability of the community within Spokane and for the state's economic vitality.
Generations of Spokane residents have been waiting for the completion of the North Spokane corridor. Now, with 7 miles completed, 3.5 left to go, that brings us to the River Crossing project.
Yeah, we're going to be drilling 100 feet into the ground underneath the river.
Giant, modified cranes will be tasked with a huge portion of the work, planning cast and creating a foundation where beams will soon stand.
And then put the rebar in, pour the concrete, wait for it to cure, and then they can remove the cast so that the structure is there in the river.
It's a process that's expected to be completed by 2025. And by the time it's finished, the project will be the first newly built bridge going over the Spokane River in nearly 4 decades, bringing together another piece of the puzzle.
Once this is done, it's going to connect those 2 sections, the one to the north of us I mentioned, north of the river, that continues on to Wellesley and Freya and ultimately 395. They're just about done with that. They'll be wrapping that up sometime this year as well.
While construction continues on the river crossing, the next 2 stages behind that are Sprague to Spokane River Stage 2 and 3, followed by the connecting project to I-90.
But it will be elevated all the way from where we're standing at the river to I-90. The entire North Spokane corridor will be elevated.
WashDOT officials tell us they won't be building the freeway over any commercial buildings, but in order for that to happen, they are still finalizing the last purchases for right-of-way, a process they say they're hopeful about having wrapped up this year.
So there is light at the end of the tunnel. We're moving toward completing this project by 2030.
All right, so 2030, that's just 6 years away from now, 5.5 depending on how you look at it. And as for that digging in the riverbed, that process has officially begun. You can see they're using those cranes right there behind us to do that process. But for now, reporting here in Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Shelley in a Medicare Enrollment Center on a recorded line, and I see here in the past you inquired about your Medicare supplement coverage. Can you hear me okay?
It's a call like that one that led a KREM 2 viewer to reach out to our Verify team. They write, getting calls from a 206 number stating they need to update my Medicare card. When I said no, they hung up. I've never heard that Medicare will update the card. Is this a scam? Let's verify. Our sources are Medicare, the Senior Medicare Patrol with the Washington State Office of the Insurance Commissioner, and the FCC.
Medicare will not call and ask you for your more information. They will not solicit you for anything or ask you for any money.
Kim McKenna is a Senior Medicare Patrol Coordinator for Washington State. She says calls asking about your Medicare card should not be trusted.
Medicare changed their cards in 2018. They went from what used to be Social Security numbers on the cards to a random series of numbers and letters. And they do not have any plans to change their cards again.
That means no special cards and no extra benefits.
Medicare will not be sending out any new cards or designing new cards. There are no cards with chips. There are no plastic special cards that come with extra benefits. And Medicare will never call and ask for your personal identifiable information.
Scammers, however, can be very convincing, and Kim says social media is making it easier for them to trick people.
We all are very tapped into social media these days. And so scammers will use whatever personal information they can find. It could be your full name, it could be an address, it could be your date of birth. And they'll call and they'll say, this is Medicare. And they will have enough personal information of yours to sound like they are an authority, like they know you and they have a record on you.
Here are a few tips from Medicare to avoid fraud. First, protect your Medicare number and your Social Security number. Guard your Medicare card like it's a credit card. Don't accept offers that promise money or gifts for free medical care. And don't join a Medicare health or drug plan over the phone unless you initiate the call with Medicare. Also, just because the call looks like it's local, that doesn't mean it is. The FCC warns that scammers may spoof a number so that it appears like the call is coming from a government agency or a health provider.
If somebody receives a call from supposedly Medicare, they need to just hang up. Scammers will use that information to then mine more information.
So we can verify, yes, any call asking you to update or renew your Medicare card is a scam. And now that you know, the next time you hear this...
Hi, this is Casey. I'm a Medicare advisor calling on a recorded line. How are you today?
Just go ahead and hang up the phone.
Remember, you don't need to answer every call. Just because somebody is calling you doesn't mean they know you, and it doesn't mean that they have good intent.
I'm right by the Eagle Ridge neighborhood in Latah Valley. This is not far from US 195. Now, it may only be the month of May, but as you take a look along the ground, you can see already we are seeing a bunch of grass, pine needles, pine cones, branches. All of these are wildfire fuels, and that has some residents in this area concerned.
Charlene Fiaro takes fire mitigation seriously.
This is dry, it's fallen in the winter.
She's lived in the Eagle Ridge area of Latah Valley since 2001. Last year, as the Great Fire swept through Medical Lake, another popped up by Thorpe Road.
You don't have time to get in and out. My bags are right there because it was so precarious at times.
That fire risk is why the Spokane City Council could be considering a building moratorium on development in the Latah Valley. According to next Monday's City Council agenda, the proposed ordinance would establish a one-year moratorium on subdivision applications for unplatted property in the Latah, Hangman, and Grandview Thorpe neighborhoods. City documents say the reasons behind the proposal are because of the significant development seen in this area and a lack of fire protection resources. Fiaro's a supporter of the proposal.
In that time, develop a plan, get your funding, define your plan, get things started. 6 years down the road, we might get a fire department is not good enough.
While she's not opposed to growth, she wants those plans to be thought out, especially in an area where there's a Spokane fire station that's only manned during the summer months and not many roads in and out of the developments.
Medical Lake was very unfortunate. That was a tragedy. They had more roads in and out of there than we do.
For now, she'll do what she can with her neighbors in clearing the danger from around their homes.
This isn't the first time this area has been under a moratorium. The most recent one started in the fall of 2022. It ran for 6 months. In Latah Valley, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News.
Cattails Wildlife Center is about a 4-acre property filled with all kinds of big cats, including this guy here, Tigger. Now, the owners have a dream of giving these big cats more room to roam.
Cattails Wildlife Center opened 30 years ago with a mission to rescue and support endangered felines. Today, it's grown into a wildlife rescue and education center. It's even licensed by the state as a training facility for vocational wildlife care.
We're limited in the sense that we can't take in more animals than we can house.
Executive Director Lisa Gray says they could use more space to continue their mission, but she says their current property has reached its expansion limits.
We can't go that way, there's a train. I can't go that way, there's a highway, which has actually moved towards us since we first got the land.
So when a UCLA graduate student offered to design a master plan for a future Cattails on a larger site, Gray accepted.
And it turned out just beautiful, and we're very excited about the idea of it.
The concept design is built around the idea of a 20-acre property. That is 5 times larger than the current facility. Project concepts include a larger scaled entrance, an on-site clinic, and upgraded space for a variety of animals. Guests could also visit the cafe and gift shop.
Everything we do, everything that we teach is for how to do the best we can for the animals that are in our care. And so if we could do that with a bigger, better facility with more options for that, and then make it more guest friendly as well. So in the scorching 100-degree days, they don't have to rely on our sky sprinklers to stay cool.
Building this new facility would take an estimated $162 million. So for now, this dream of relocating and expanding will remain an idea.
Financially, it's not something that we can do with what we create and generate here. What we generate gets us year to year. That's our operation cost.
But Gray is hopeful because if it's an idea the community is on board with and they can secure the funding, this dream of expanding may come true. In Meade, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
We knew something spectacular was about to happen. The president was going to be in town. Just think of that. And then finally, it was opening day.
Expo 74, officially open to all the citizens of the world.
It was as if nobody had heard about Spokane until Expo 74 came along. I participated in a protest march, and it was such great fun at age 11 tagging along, shouting, "Jail to the chief! Jail to the chief!" And of course, these days I work for the Washington State Legislature and I do publicity for the Senate Republican caucus. A lot of this I've had since the fair took place. So what I did as a kid is I ran around to every pavilion on the fairgrounds and I got it stamped. Everybody wanted to see the Russian exhibit because they thought that, oh, it's such a big deal that the Russians are here. And eventually I found myself thinking, you know, the fair was such a special time. I want to be able to remember that. And I want to be able to show people what it was like. I was so sad when Expo was over. It was just a spectacular time. It was a great time to be an 11-year-old kid living in Spokane. Just imagine having a World's Fair in your hometown.
Thank you for joining us on KREM 2 Plus for a look at some of the biggest news stories of the past week. For the most current news throughout the weekend, you can watch our latest newscast here on KREM 2 Plus. Just look for it at the bottom of the navigation menu. I'm Tim Pham. Thanks for watching.